Good morning, everyone. Okay, second last session for the year. Let's take a seat. We know how this works. Good. Move the legs around. Oh, it's exciting times. Second last week of work for me, which is very, very cool. Knowing that I've got to tie up my loose ends, create this content with a whole bunch of other stuff, but just a really awesome countdown. It's exactly what it is there. Cross legs up. Since I last saw everyone, I mentioned that we're going to go see the OB. We did, and got some really cool stuff, which is that he's growing still well. He's got some nice chubby cheeks, which is just fantastic, and he's got a little bit of fluff on his head, which is cool. And he's shot up a little bit. So last week, I think maybe 2 weeks ago, he was about 2.8, 2.9. 2.7, 2.8, and we estimated between 2.9 and 3.2 he'd be born at. That was sort of the rough guide. And now he's 3.2 right now. And so yeah, we're like, oh, he's going to be maybe a little bit more than what we were expecting there. So that's not a bad thing. Amy's been obviously, the jungle leg's been feeding him up, so everybody's happy there. Yeah, just exciting stuff there. He seems well and doing his thing, and he's healthy. I don't know when I'm going to get the next video done, but yeah, you'll either hear yes, Amy's engaged or not. So right this stage she's not. So yeah, we're not expecting him in the next couple of days or anything. So that's cool. But when that does happen, apparently Amy will know straight away, which a few people have mentioned. Close stretch. That should be very aware that that's what's happening. Yeah, all very exciting stuff, right? It'll just be what it is. And yeah, we'll see how this next, the induction. So they recommend booking the induction at just over 41 weeks. So if you're going over 41 weeks, they want to be able to schedule it in there, as it becomes a couple of extra risk factors there. So the latest he'll be born, I think, he'll be like the 6th or the 7th of Jan. But we're hoping that we can do it all with a spontaneous whichever. So yeah, hopefully before then, we'll sort of see how it goes. Just, it's sort of this brain getting over that in the next month everything's going to change quite a fair bit. The way that we've been living and operating will feel a lot different. Sort of really excited to be in it. Sort of really excited now. And it's very fun times. Alright, good on the quad stretch, hamstring stretch. But for today's session, as always, I like to keep it up to date. But for today's session, dumbbells is what's there. I think you can just see them just behind me there. As always, good footwear, nice sturdy chair, which she's good. I tightened up a couple of things, but yeah, I just think this chair's had a hard life. It's been used a lot. Yeah, good footwear, and just make sure you've got some hydration. Obviously, some hot days coming up there, so it depends on what the day is going to be like when you guys watch this. I believe this should be the Monday one. Is that right? Yes, I mean Monday one. Of course it is. Good. Switch over hamstrings, and then yeah, I'll get your Wednesday one done sometime this week. So what's today? Today is Wednesday, Thursday, Wednesday today. Yeah, Wednesday the week before. Yeah, the days just turn over, they click over so very quickly, it's hard to sort of remember where everything's at. Calf stretch. It's all very exciting stuff, Alright, enough about the exciting news, more about our training. So dumbbells are needed, we're going to really punch through that. We're going to move pretty quickly through some of the movements. So yeah, sure, if I'm going a little faster, you're welcome to just pause and slow it down there. But yeah, it's going to be some rapid movements through this. No band, no variations, just here's our dumbbells, let's just rock and roll. Like a lot of the exercises that we'll be going through now, if you didn't have dumbbells, you'd still be able to do them without a dumbbell. So that's absolutely fine. You just don't have that extra weight resistance for it there. Because we're going to move pretty quickly, it's just a good opportunity to get the heart rate up a little bit more, which is nice. Alright, calf into the stretch. Tabletop, sitting over the top. And sorry if you see me sort of scratching and stuff, we have been just mauled by mosquitoes would be the word for it. Mauled would be very appropriate, because they have, like yesterday, watered in the garden, and You know, I know in our backyard there it can get a bit hairy sometimes. You know, got out there and watered a couple of things. I reckon within 3 minutes, I reckon I got a good 5 or 6 bites. Like they just had a good little crack. And I was probably out there for 20 minutes. So times those up. You know, definitely got a couple of them and noticed that, you know, one would be sitting on the ankle, one would be sitting on the other thigh. So bang bang, but they were just on fire. I think it's just the extra rain and all the other stuff there. Okay, get some water into your team. We're about to rock and roll. Trust your time will be on. There we go. Okay. Alright, nose is good. Dumbbells to begin with. We start with our nice, fun, standard, easy go-to. Draw the shoulders back. Go for our squats. Good way to get our heart rate up. Gets our legs firing. We're feeling good. Get it all moving. And I can't believe that we are so very close to the end of the year. It does, I don't know about everyone here, but it does feel like the last part, at least these last 6 weeks, have just bang. I remember start of November and then didn't quite remember the end of November, but definitely aware that, you know, when you're midway through December, that's what it's felt like for me. Just bang bang, we are here. We're here now, and we're ready to make some changes. That's what it's felt like. You know, all very amazing stuff. Good. 3, 2, stay with me here team. 1 more to come. Excellent, good. Standing hammer curls, both of them at the same time. Right, you can get a bit of a swing here. I don't mind, it's good for the shoulder to get a bit of a swing through it there. If you want to make it harder on your bicep and forearm, no swinging. This is where we're really isolating the muscle group to be able to do its job. But if you want to get a bit of a swing, I'm okay with that there. I actually quite like the swing, not because you want to make it easier, but because it actually feels quite nice in the shoulders, just to lengthen everything up. Open the chest up, finish with the curl. Good, you'll notice it's much easier to finish off the hammer curl, and then it is in this position here where you don't get that momentum. A little bit of momentum can be nice. 2, 1, excellent. Rotate around, now it's bicep curl. You can keep that swing going if you want. Just getting everything moved together. You might even want to play between the difference. So this is the swinging bicep curl, right? And then you might want to just isolate it. Just sit just in front. Notice when I come down to the arms are just slightly in front of me instead of really locking them out. Just keep them slightly in front. Just generally stops people from swinging. So you can get a little bit more control in the muscles. Good. You play with it. Whatever you're feeling like. Check it out timer. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Back to hammer curl position. This time there, swing it up. Shoulder press it. Good, so you can see swing movement, shoulder press. Swing movement, shoulder press. If you're not keen on swinging it, can you bicep curl to shoulder press? Absolutely. This is more controlled movement. You can see I'm not creating all that swing exercise. I'm just keeping it in strong, creating the press. Boom. And boom. That's what we're looking for. Keep it coming. Good, 10 seconds. Good, and then sometimes you might want to swing it. I like it. Staying with it. Lucky last. Excellent, take yourself a seat. Good. The lateral raises there. Good. We've got nice and easy lateral raises, so notice my arms are quite bent. Really going right angle between my humerus and going down my radius and ulnar. So pulling up through here, that's that right angle position that we're talking about. So you've got that one. You can pull out a little bit wider. So it's a bit more of a 45-degree angle, pulling on. Or you can go completely laterally. You notice too as well, it's a little bit harder to always meet here. Sometimes you might want to meet by your hip, moving out completely laterally. You've got laterally slight bend of elbows and then lock out. All different variations, but just different intensities. So easiest, a little bit harder, harder again, and then straight arm is by far the hardest. So all 5 variations. 15 seconds, you work with what you want to do. Good, giving you plenty of room. Hey, it is December. Oh, so itchy. It is December. It's Christmas time. We all know we're gonna eat some food. That is okay. Leg it last. Good, leaning forward, both arms. Good, creating those rows. I'm gonna rotate self to the side. Let's try this way. Just so you can see. Leaning forward, pulling back. Really about driving that elbow back behind us. Work it back. Good, the more you lean forward, you know, I'm really sitting nearly on the top of my thighs here. Just getting a little bit more of my back muscle groups having to work a little bit harder for them. Good. Pull it back in strong. 20 seconds. Good, you can always change the angles of it, right? You know, nearly fully upright, pulling back's a little bit different to them leaning forward and pulling back. Just slowly edging that forward and forward, just to get a bit of a gauge. Just different variations. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Spin back around. That's me spinning around. You should still be facing. Good. Onto the dumbbells, leg lifting. Good. You choose if you want to let that feet touch the floor, which I'm doing right now, or keep them both off the floor. Your call to this there. You may notice keeping them both off the floor there. It's quite tough. You'll notice that you want to lean forward and use a lot more thighs to do that movement. Much more thigh hip flexor. Here I can lean a little bit forward and work on driving one leg at a time. Your variation, 30 seconds. Sorry, I'm now riding lined up with my timer behind the camera there. I can't see anything. So if you ever see me just peer out to the side, it's because I'm having a proper look at it. All right, we are good. Keep it coming. Oh yeah. I see 10 seconds. I see 10. Thighs be burned up a little bit. That's okay. Oh, everything's fallen off to the side. I've nearly lost one of them. I have lost it. It wasn't going to last too much longer. Leaning forward, rotate to the side so you can see me leaning forward, reverse fly. Driving our hands back behind us. So I'm not coming out laterally, back behind. Thinking about squeezing my upper back muscle groups, making those shoulder blades, which we call our scapula, retract, and go close to each other like they're trying to squeeze something through upper back. That always feels really nice. Building up and getting that upper back strength working. Go for me, team. Having a look, 20 seconds. Working through it. Yeah. Getting it done. Bring it home, team. We know how this works. 4, 3, 2, 1. Excellent, shoulder press. Look at us just transitioning between these movements so effortlessly. Right, I am leaning back on the chair. It feels nice. Right, you play with your variable. You want to lean forward. So this is me upright, me lean back. Nice having back rest every now and again. Good, we've got this for 35 more seconds. Right, bringing those elbows down makes it a little bit harder. Keeping it parallels a little bit easier. Not bringing them down anywhere near as enough. It's just going to load your shoulders up plenty. So you get to choose when you want to do it. If you feel comfortable bringing it down, I suggest giving it a go there. It's good to get everything working really well together as a team. Whew. Oh yeah. Getting it done. 10 seconds. Good work, team. Good, we're going to bring back an old favourite of our chair exercise group, which is our rest up, which is our one arm row. So, 2 options to do with this there. You can use one dumbbell, or if you want to use 2, you actually just hold one of them with your fingers, cross the other one over the top there. So just give you a gauge. Hold one with our fingers, cross the other one over the top, and the thumb just comes over and holds that there. So you can actually hold 2 dumbbells at one time. So left knee, left hand on it, right leg out nice and far, stick my bum back a little bit, pull this back behind me. We call it a one arm row. So I'm having a go at that now with 6 kilos. Whatever dumbbells you've got, you can add some weight load to it there. Pulling back, one arm rows. Very similar to our bent over one when we sit forward and we just pull up like in a gorilla row position. Very similar to that, we're just focusing on one back muscle group going ahead and doing the movement. 2, 1 more repetition. Excellent. Stand up nice and tall and then switch sides. Good, you'll have to reset if you've got 2. Ta-da, there we go. Same thing, I've got my right knee, right head onto the chair, left leg's out nice and wide, pulling back behind me. And you can see from my bum to my shoulders, I'm trying to keep that parallel to the floor. So I'm not really concave here, and I'm definitely not all twisted. I'm keeping that nice, neutral, strong, create the good, strong drive up with our lats. All right, getting it done, team, I like this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more, and rest. Stand up tall. We're going to start that big period. Whew. So again, we've got a bit of sniffles at the moment. Oh, I'm all falling apart. Just slowly falling apart. That's okay. I am, on a different note, my Friday morning groups, I don't know if we're quite finished up for the year, but I'm definitely not taking it this week. So Friday morning, I'll tell you what I'm going to be doing. And that is sleeping in. That is sleeping in and not waking up. Unless Amy needs me, I am just going to lie there. I'm going to do the whole kick it in the sheets. And oh, it's going to be so much fun. Look forward to it. I think it's just the idea of not having to rush and be anywhere is always nice. Jesus, I can't even get it in my mouth. That's hilarious. I'm glad you didn't see that just everywhere, because it's black, you don't know. Fantastic. You don't know any different. That's always nice. Alright, calf raises on top of our legs. Push down, create a bit of downward space. Push off at our toes, right? I might drive my heels underneath and get a little bit tougher there. Leaning forward, create some downward movement. Push off those toes, push. Good. Good, you notice you can get a fair bit of speed to it there. Really push down nice and hard so it's hard for you to get speed. Right, I want you to do it so it's tough to get the speed. As you push it down with your arms. Drive down hard, having to work it up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh yes, good, bring it to our feet. Leg extensions, oop. You have to make sure they stay there. Leg extensions, stay. So, you've got single leg options. Alternate between single leg options. Alright, been a while since we popped this in there. Or you've got double leg. Notice you're going to point your toes. Control it in, point your toes. Let me shot laterally too, so you can see. Good. Pointing my toes, which means that when that dumbbell's at that point there, it's going to stay there. If I pull it back, there's a good chance to roll off. Control in, point the toes. Good. You got your pace, team. Really loads up the top of those thighs. Surprising how just a couple of kilos up. A couple of kilos can really make a bit of a difference here. Just volume and control. Point the toes. Alright. Whew. The leg burn, be real. Whew. Oh yeah. Oh, it's a whole lot of fun, isn't it now? Work through, 20 seconds. We got it. Oh, nothing stops us. There we go. Keep driving through. Working with the legs. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Should be able to get one more down. And last one. Oh, yes. Alright, standing up. Pop the chair a little bit aside. If you're comfortable, let's get to the marching here. Good, I'm going toe striking. You choose, remember, 5 foot or toe strikes. Whatever you feel comfortable with. Notice what I'm doing with my arms here. I'm not fully extending them out. I'm keeping them always slightly bent. Just a little bit of movement. This is coming up, a little bit more for forward march. That is a bit more lateral with my arms. Good. What I want to see here, I'm just going to move this away a little bit more. What I want to see here is a bit of speed. My timer's we've got 75 seconds. So there's a bit to do here. Good. It's about continually keeping everything moving. Right? The speed is the key here. Now, we want to make this a little bit harder. All I'm looking for is extra height on arms and legs. But keep speed. No matter what happens, if it's all going to be tough, I'd rather you have hardly any arm movement, but try to keep some speed going there. Speaking about arm movement, it all really comes from it. So the more you can move those arms, the more your legs will want to follow in suit. Keep it going, team. 35 seconds. You'll notice this will get your heart rate up a little bit. If you're going to go in through nose, out through nose, even better. I'm a teeny bit blocked through it there. So if you find yourself blocked, you can definitely go in through nose, out through mouth, or in through mouth, out through mouth. You pick. Just get oxygen in a way that you feel comfortable with. 10 more seconds, you should notice your arms are just starting to scream a little. Real good. They get a bit fatigued. That's okay. 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah, let them rest. Now we did this in our last workout where we did the alternating, like a variation of star jumps, but just one side at a time. Give it a go with the dumbbell and your legs. So you get lateral raise and actually some hip abduction. No, adduction. Abduction, which just means to move away. I think I went through this a while ago with everyone. So abduction, ADD, is to add something to your body. Abduction, ABD, to be abducted, to be taken away. So bodies, everything's nice and lined up. Leg is taken away from the body. So that's what makes it an abduction exercise. Good trivia. May come up in a question. And if it does, ADD, add, ABD, abduction. All right. Whew. I'd like to be abducted away to a coffee place. Now, 2, 1, rest. We actually have some decaf upstairs, which I'm going to have one after this there, which would be nice. Sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of decaf coffee, you know, you don't need always the perk. Sometimes all you want is the lovely taste of it. All right, lean forward, wide stance pull. So we've got a wide pull. Just about slightly leaning forward. Let me show this laterally. So we can see, slightly leaning forward, create that wide pull out to the side. Yeah. Excellent. Good, work it through. Good, driving it back. Yes, getting it done. Working there. Let's go for it. Have a look at the time. It's still 10 seconds. Driving through. Notice we've got a bit of our speed here. Just really asking you to get everything moving quite well. Get it going. 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah, that's not getting any easier. No matter how much more tired you get. Oh yeah, doesn't really get a whole lot easier. All right, I'm going to scoot myself right back. How about we all use the backrest? Why not? Up, alternating. Good nose to starting position. So not a traditional overhand, you're more of a hand grip position. Alternating between it. Finishing above the head. We've got 50 seconds on this one here. And then we finish off last final minute with our boxing. Oh yeah, we knew it was coming. It's a nice way. You know, this is just pre-fatiguing the shoulders, so when we box, we have to find a way to grind through the last minute. But we step into the moment, team, because it's in the moment where really we live. May as well be here. Where else do you really want to be? It's a good place, 20 seconds. The present. Alright, we're working through. We know what we're about to get in for. Anticipating the fun. Alright. Work it through, work it through. 3, 2, 1. Excellent! You can do it seated or standing, whatever you want. Throwing punches, it's just straight punches. Change your stance. The key is to go for the full minute. Change your stance. Keep it coming. Change your stance. Yeah. Good, you can see it laterally. Change your stance. Throw them out. Good, shoulders be loaded. Everything working hard. Change that stance. Change that stance. Stay with me here, team. Alright, I see it. 30 seconds. Bring it home. Change it over. Breathe through. Change that stance. Good. Change that stance. Change that stance. Let's get it done. Home straight. Final 10. Change that stance. Stay with me. Change your stance. Lucky last. 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes, team. Oh, it just feels nice to just drop them down. Oh, that's good. Have a walk around. Well done. Well done. Yeah, I can't also believe that it's the second last one I get to do, because, hey, hopefully we can see each other all in Feb, so it'll be the last time I get to organise this for the council. Again, it's really about you guys, that if you find value and you like it, to please let Darren and the people at the council know, because I don't get to create the content unless people ask, and there's a demand for it, right? I can supply it, but there's a demand for it. That's when we can do more of it. Okay, glute stretch. Fantastic, team. Sit over the top. Give it a lovely stretch up. Nice and reward. It's like the reward after doing the training, just to stretch up some tight muscle groups. And I really do think, this is me personally talking, I really do think the body appreciates this, a little bit of extra tender loving and care. You know, it's good for our mind to push our bodies a little bit, let ourselves know that we are strong enough to be able to deal with more, switch over. And sometimes we just need a mental outlet. Just put our energy in towards something. Just feels like the right thing to do. Yeah, it's good. Good for the good old ticker. The brain that just keeps ticking over, and you know, the heart ticker. Good for all the tickers. That's it, for all the clocks of the world. Glute stretch. Quad work. Let's go for it. Hoping that you've done all your Christmas shopping. That's always nice. We've really not gone too mad with all of it this year. Definitely our little guy's taken most of the attention. But yeah, if you are doing Christmas shopping, just try to tick that off nice and quick, because yeah, be all a bit mad a bit later on there, and you know, online deliveries, who knows how long all that stuff's going to take. Yeah, it's always going to take a bit of time. Switch over. Good, give it a nice stretch. Good pull up, lovely just to stretch out the quads. They appreciate it, enjoy it. Sometimes it's all they need, it's just a nice lengthen out. Feels good. Feels good to get all this done. Hamstring. Let's jump into it. And yeah, hey, before we know it, Christmas time and New Year's, and yeah, hopefully you've got some nice fun festivities going on in your area there, and wherever you're going to be on New Year's, just to be safe and have a whole lot of fun there. Yeah, we could very well be in hospital if that's the situation, and that's all very exciting. Yeah, wherever you end up being, just be safe for all of it there. So which over hammies? Oh, also really noticing just how tight my left one was compared to my right one there. What did I do? I haven't done a leg session in at least 3 days. It's a bit concerned if they're still sore from that point. Just tells me I worked hard, which is never a bad thing. But oh yeah, some tight points there. You might even want to try bent leg position, so just different variation. Stiff leg ones, for the majority of people's where they need to spend a bit more attention. Some people do need to work a bit more bent leg stuff. Just good to stretch up in different areas. Half stretch, home straight at the end. Let's give that all a nice stretch. And even for those who love a bit of bacon stuff, I'm hoping you're enjoying baking some cookies. And normally we try to do a bit of a gingerbread man / gingerbread house every year. We've parked that for this year, but yeah. I normally come on and talk a bit about how poorly I am and Amy has put together a gingerbread house. We're very good at eating it, assembling it, switch over. Incredibly poor. I think teeny bit impatient, and sometimes we don't get the get the walls and stuff right. Not that the dimensions are wrong, but just sometimes a bit too thin and a bit too brittle, and you're just like, oh, this isn't really sticking properly. I don't know. It just gets a bit messy sometimes. Not always the greatest at following a recipe as well. Let's be totally honest. Tabletop, I'm like, yeah, a little bit of that, teaspoon of that, yeah, we'll be right. So it could get a little out of control. And I always tend to put a bit more ginger too. Just me in a nutshell, I really do enjoy a bit of ginger. Ginger is always fun. Alright, shake out that back. That is a fantastic training session, team. Good speed work. Good to get the body moving. I look forward to seeing you all for our last one for the year. And then, hey, in the new year, all exciting times. Okay, bye for now.